I don't think people are lazy. I think we're very disciplined in other ways. A person who eats a lot of junk food, they're disciplined in eating junk food. So I tell guys, it's you don't lack discipline. You're just not using that discipline in the right area. Everybody has discipline. It's just some disciplines are more beneficial than others. That saying, "Fake it till you make it," I think is it. There's a lot of the presupposition is that you have to fake it. Obviously, you're saying it in it. Fake it till you make it. I know a lot of guys don't like to fake things. Most men don't. Most men don't want to lie. So I actually came up with something else. Instead of fake it till you make it, I tell guys believe it until you achieve it. That rings a lot deeper.
You're listening to the Life Edge Podcast, the place to learn, grow, and succeed.
This is my friend Joel. He is a men's style and image consultant, and he's doing some pretty amazing things. And I was really excited to get him on the show today. Joel, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Chris. It's a wonderful time being here, and I know this conversation is going to be great. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I think this is a big topic right now, and
Yes.
I think style and image and the signaling that you get, right, image styling and how you carry yourself is just an image or a signal to the world, right?
Indeed. Indeed. The way I tell people, it's everything communicates. Every body communicates. And it's every body. There are two different words. Every body communicates. And being able to influence and have control over what you communicate is a superpower nowadays. You know, I think that it's very important to be able to articulate your thoughts and be able to articulate the thoughts that you want to say. But it's also important to manage those thoughts as well. And I think managing your communication as well. And for me, it's been a goal for me to uh, enlighten men to understand that everything that you wear, everything that you do, everything that you communicate verbally, it all says something about you.
I love it. Would you, as we get started, just tell the audience, tell the listener, the viewers, a little bit about what you actually do?
Man, there's a lot to it. There's definitely a lot to it. So things that I do everything from the moment I meet somebody, I instantly just start getting a feel for them. I start uh, I look at how they walk. I look at the way that they speak. Look at the way that they behave. I notice patterns. And that's what people want. They want to be able to be looked at and be almost as if they're being read. And so that's what I do. I read people. I read people first, and then I start to get a better understanding of who they are and what they want and what they do. And from that, I start to create, I start to understand how they view themselves. And that's a big part of this. It's not just me going out there and telling guys what to wear. It's me understanding the situation, understanding context. What do they do in life? Do they have a family? Who are they trying to influence? Who are they trying to resonate with? And that to me is the things that separate me from, in my opinion, and what I've seen out there is that's what separates me. I'm not someone who's just putting myself onto you. I can do that if that's what you want, if that's what's so desired, but my number one thing is understanding you. And so being able to talk to men, being able to help them understand their life, being able to ask them questions that they've probably never been asked before, that really does start to, again, it starts to, I'm helping them articulate their image of themselves and how they want to be seen. And I think a lot of men appreciate that. A lot of men want that. And so here I am filling in this, need. So it's a
What
pleasure.
do you see? What are the effects when you've worked with your clients? What are some of the transformations you see? Because I got to imagine there's like self-esteem and confidence boosters. There's all kinds of things that when you start to change your outward style and your signaling, even in like how you view yourself, there's got to be a lot of benefits of that.
Yeah, some of the things that I've seen men. stand up taller. I remember my first client, still in very good touch with him. And I remember seeing him, I can see his eyes, right? Our eyes communicate a lot. And I can just see him just kind of just thinking and just looking down at his shoes and kind of looking up and just kind of imagining what his life could look like. And I saw that within 30 seconds of him. I was with him. I was talking to the store owner, but I can see that in him. I'm literally just looking at him, and I see him just like almost in some sort of visual, just like trance. You see him in his different trance. It looked like he was hypnotized by the shoes, and that was one of the things that I've seen. And honestly, I think that's a small portion of it is transformation, because you're literally seeing yourself in a different view, in a different way. And when you see yourself in a different way, other things start to happen. You start to stand up taller. You start to realize that, hey, I can do certain things. I don't have to be my old self. I don't have to be the shell of myself. I can be something better. And so I've seen guys stand up taller. I've seen guys smile more. I've seen guys, I just got a message today. A gentleman that I worked with 2 days ago, he was telling me that his girlfriend sees him as light. Imagine that. Imagine somebody viewing yourself when they meet you, instead of being this void of darkness, you can be light and you can brighten up somebody's day. And you can do that, and you can do that with appearance. And these are the things that I talk about. I'm very conscious of what I wear, because I want to control and manage people's emotions, right? It's not about me. I love my clothes, but really it's my message. What is it that I want to communicate? So for me, it's really about when I made my framework. Wasn't about getting to understand. It wasn't about them, because that's one step. It's not just about what you like. It's about who are you talking to? Who do you want to influence? Are you going to church? Are you going to be wearing these clothes to church? What do you want to communicate at church? Okay, now that we have a baseline, now that we know what the target is, now we can start creating a design around it. And so, to me, it's wonderful to see that something such as just putting on different clothing can heighten your image, and people can view you and think, wow, you look like light. You remind me of light. You remind me of this specific thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about you that just emanates more light. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things. It's, him and I both understand now. It's nothing's really changed other than the clothes. And so I think image has a positive effect when used in the right way.
Mm-hmm. What made you want to start helping men change their image, change their style?
I wanted to be remembered for something that was good. When I saw the change happen in me, I realized that there's power behind this, because I did this to myself. I wanted to dress better. I understood that when people say my name, I want people to remember me for a positive thing. And so I thought, well, I need to start changing myself. And so I did. I started changing the way I dressed, started changing the way that I communicate, everything down to my facial hair. Everything changed. And I've been managing that. And when I saw a positive reaction from the world, from people talking with me, I knew there was something there. And so, because I wanted to help men, and I'm a result of many men. I've had many mentors in my life that have helped me. I wanted to be able to give something back. And so this is my way of giving back. This is my way of helping men understand that, hey, you don't have to be the same way. You can be better. And sometimes, a majority of my work, it's very small. It's a very small portion of what I do is changing clothes. The majority of my work is done in here. I'm a stylist and image consultant, but I also talk about behavior. I also talk about communication. I talk about the stories that we tell ourselves should benefit you. And so for me, when I started, it's really, what really made me want to do this was I started to change myself, but I also knew that men could use what I have. Men can use the technology, the software, the framing in your mind to benefit their lives as well. And most men just need a little bit of help. They don't need to go to a therapist. They just need to reframe the way that they're thinking. And so for me, it's it was really just about helping men.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm also doing it for money, but that's not. I can get money in other ways. I wanted to do this. I want this type of information to be accessible. I want men to realize that they have power in the way that in the way that they can control. They have power. My job is just to inspire them and to help them find that power and then be able to use it. So I think
Yeah.
that answers your question, and I think that's really it, these are questions that haven't really been asked before, but it's always great to be able to work through them because hey, it's I think this stuff is very important. So that's a great question. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I think what you're trying to do right now is so important because there is a palpable, you can feel it in the air. There's a generation of young men right now who are lost, confused, don't have much self-esteem, very much confidence, and a lot of that has come from the fact that over like when we had this tech era in the early 2000s, there was this big push for men to stop wearing suits and ties, and everybody just needs to uh, casual Fridays became casual months, became everything is casual, and the suit is just this trap, and all of this this power trap and all or trip and all this weird stuff came from it when and now we're on the back end of that where we have this generation of kids who are young men who are truly lost, like I just don't know what to do,
Mm.
and they don't realize how much changing their image, their self-image, how they view themselves, how they portray themselves to the world can help change that their self-confidence, can help change and boost their ego, and learning how to communicate to other people properly. Like those are all important things. So what
Yes.
would you say to the young man right now that's listening to this, that's 22, 24, 25? What are some steps that they could start taking today to start moving in the right direction, to changing how they view themselves so that the world views them differently, to gain that confidence, to gain that self-esteem, and to really start going where they want to in life?
Well, I think it all comes down to, I mean, there's very subtle things that you can do. And it's, again, it goes back to, it's not actually appearance, it's actually behaviors.
Mm,
Very simple things that they can do to help boost their confidence is go to the gym, learn to, learn some sort of martial art, learn some sort of discipline. I was someone that, I joined the military when I was 19, and I was in it for almost a decade. And what you can learn in that is the military didn't teach me discipline. It taught me the power of it,
mm,
right? I had to give myself that. I had to give myself the permission to be disciplined. But once I did that, the power behind that showed me that there was many, many things that I could do. Excuse me. There's many, many things that can can flourish, that can blossom when you just focus on having just one discipline or a couple of disciplines. One of the things that I, obviously being in the military, fitness is a big part of it. Fitness, 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 fitness. There's no reason why somebody who is young, bunch of energy, bunch of testosterone going through their veins, why aren't you working out? Is it because you're lazy? Or excuse me, you're not. I don't think people are lazy. I think we're very disciplined in other ways. A person who eats a lot of junk food, they're disciplined in eating junk food.
mm-hmm.
So I tell guys, it's you don't lack discipline. You're just not using that discipline in the right area. Everybody has discipline. It's just some disciplines are more beneficial than others. But go to the gym. Think about, well, go to the gym one. Two, think about the people that you want to talk with. Think about the people that you want to communicate with. Think about, well, if you're not where you want to be, understand sometimes it's because of the way that you look. Maybe you're not dressing appropriately. Because that's another thing that a lot of guys ask me is, I don't want to lose myself. I said, well, you won't. I'm not here to change you. I'm here to enhance you. And so the way that you can enhance yourself is simply just by dressing better. What does dressing better mean? That's another question I get asked. Well, simple. Dress fitted clothing. Most men are wearing probably a size or two too big for their clothing. And so I tell guys, no, it's you're 155 pounds. You should not be wearing a medium. You should be wearing a small, even an extra small. I wear an extra small. And simply just getting the fit right is such a big part of it. But also having the 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 body for it is also very, very powerful. I think when you mix those two things together, man, it's very, very nice. It's very appealing. It's very aesthetically appealing. And so, tell guys, that's easily one of the things that you can do. And when you look in the mirror, you're gonna see, wow, I look great.
Mm.
Now it's much easier because half the fight is done in here. The confidence, as you mentioned. Once you have that confidence, I mean, when men are more confident, they become more ambitious, and that's what I like to see. I like to see men going out there and looking to conquer. So what that we stumble? So what that we don't hit it the first time? No, but we get better every single time. And so, I think image can definitely have that power with you. And yes, confidence does improve.
Yeah. How much? So, if we were to kind of break up the image into a scale of one, let's say by percentages, how much of a percentage would you say is based on, of like a good image is based on clothing, is based on, let's say, good grooming habits, and then how much of it is just based on how well you carry yourself throughout life? Does that question make sense?
Yes. Yes. Percentage wise, I think that's a very good question. It's a bit. See, I don't know if this will answer it, but I'm going to do my best because I know that there's something there that I want to address. Your style and your appearance, it'll get you through the door. But your behavior and your communication skills will keep you inside of the room. So percentage wise, I think it's important for the first 5 to 6, 7 seconds. But what you do during that time when that person approaches you or when you walk into that interview, what you say next is going to affect everything. It's going to either confirm or deny people's first impression of you. So I do think that having a strong first impression is important. I'd say that is 100% something you should. I think that's 100%. Good grooming, good fit, good silhouette, good fitness, good overall package. Yes, it's important. That is 100%. But that's only 100% until you get to the behavior and communication. When people start to notice these things about you, then your image either your behavior and communication further amplifies your appearance, or it actually denies it, or it starts to alter. Because everybody can look good in a 3-piece suit. Everybody can look good with a shaved head, 5 o'clock shadow and green shirt. But if everybody can look good in that. Now let's imagine that there's this other person wearing a 3-piece suit, and that person doesn't. They behave anxiously. They make quick movements. They start to seem nervous. It doesn't matter that the 3-piece suit puts them together and makes them look nice. It's the behavior and communication that you start to notice. This something's off here. And so, I do think that it all matters. It all matters equally. However, when you get all three of those things aligned, when you get your appearance, when you get your behavior, and you get your communication skills all in alignment, communicating the same message, that's really where the superpower is at. It's
Hmm.
not. It's getting all three of those things to 100%. Now, what does 100% look like? Well, that's what's that's what asking all these questions kind of do. So it helps me understand that a little bit more, so I can help them bring them up.
Yeah. What is your response to someone who says this shouldn't matter because you shouldn't judge a book by its cover?
Good luck. The world is always judging you. It's human nature. It's what we've always
Mm.
done. There's a silhouette far off in the distance. Is that someone I know? Or is that someone that I don't know? We all make quick judgments. We all have to, and to say that we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Listen, you can tell a lot about a book by its cover, and I think it's very important to manage that. But hey, if you don't want to, good luck. See how the world treats you. How the world treats you when you dress inappropriately. When you go to an interview and you wear a t-shirt, good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. Hopefully, it reminds me of that one scene in The Pursuit of Happiness, where he's sitting down in the interview and he just got finished painting and he's going to have all these blotches, and Will Smith is just he hasn't groomed in days, and the gentleman asked him, if we were to hire somebody who didn't have a shirt on, something along that lines, what would you say? And he just sits there, thinks about it, looks back at him and says, you must have really good pants. I thought that was very smart. But yeah, it's that was a moment when he realized that image matters. This is about image. It's not just about your skills. Skills will keep you inside of the room, as I said. Your behavior and your communication skills will keep you inside the room, but your appearance will get you through the door. And that's really what that moment was about.
Hmm. And for me personally, I can speak into that because when I was a manager for a manufacturing company, we had a uniform we had to wear to work that it
Hmm.
required steel toe boots, and um, you have a uniform with the company logo on it and your name on it, and it's very obvious when you're outside of that environment in those clothes that you're a blue collar worker, right? You're just a working man, and but that wasn't how I dressed on the weekends, right? So I was wearing a nice button down with some good slacks and some decent shoes.
Yes,
And
sir.
there is the Chris who was going to work Monday through Friday was being treated very differently by the Chris who was out on Saturday and Sunday. And it was all appearance based because it was when I'd go to the grocery store where we'd go to a restaurant. There was very much a clear difference of how the world viewed me just wearing the blue collar clothes versus just a nice casually dressed man. Those were two very different experiences. And
Yes.
I know that we all want to say we don't judge a book by the cover, but everyone does because I'm looking to see when you see somebody for the first time, you're immediately going, do we align? How do they carry themselves? What do they look like? Do do our political beliefs align? Do our religious beliefs align? Do our physical and health beliefs align? Because that is all stuff we're trying to gather when we first meet those people. And as much as we all want to say no, we give everyone a fair shake. Well, yes, but you're still taking in all that data.
Yes. Still data. Indeed.
So,
Well
no,
said. Well
yeah.
said.
I was excited because this is such I think a great conversation to be had right now because I've talked to a few young men here recently that have been trying to figure out how to navigate the world we're in right now because you want to, like when you're younger you want to go rebel and you do funny things and you dress different and you do that because there's a small niche of people and you're all rebellious. Well, it feels like that rebellious niche has grown to where it's not cool to be rebellious anymore because it's so big. You're part of the normal, and they're in this weird kind of limbo right now. And I see this movement of men like you who are going out and helping guys who realize how I'm viewed by the world matters, how I carry myself matters, And I think it's important to get that out there, that it's not a fake it till you make it situation at all. And I think
No,
it gets
definitely
I
not.
I think it gets misconstrued with that a lot. It's more about internalizing the view of yourself in a way that allows you to then operate to success. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and I think one of it's that saying "fake it till you make it." I think is it. There's a lot of the presupposition is that you have to fake it. Obviously, you're saying it
Mm.
in it. Fake it till you make it. I know a lot of guys don't like to fake things. Most men
Mm-hmm.
don't. Most men don't want to lie. So I actually came up with something else. Instead of fake it till you make it, I tell guys believe it until you achieve it. That
Mm.
rings a lot deeper. Because now we don't have to tell guys, hey, you can't be, well, you have to behave in a way that, let me backtrack a minute. Fake it till you make it, I think is horrible. And I never operate in that scenario. I never operate in that framework. I tell guys, no, we need to understand what is it that you want to communicate, see it, and then we can go and achieve it. Right? A lot of it is this entire idea of fake it till you make it, I think is toxic. And I really think that's when I tell guys that I just see them light up like a Christmas tree. Like, there's another way of operating. I don't have to. I can still be myself and still wear this clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because we're no longer aligned with your present self. We're aligned with your mission. Your mission is, where do you want to go? Who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to communicate with? And I think that's giving guys a better purpose. I think is part of it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I do my best to get guys in the clothes that best suits them. But my number one thing is helping them align, helping them articulate their vision. And when we're able to do that, when we're able to articulate the vision, when we're able to see it vividly, when you're able to see it in your mind's eye and kind of get into this nice little, hallucination. Now guys are like, you know what? I don't want to be my current self. I want to be the best version of myself, and they can see it. It's right in front of them. Fake it till you make it is one of the worst things that was ever given to man. That saying is so bad, and I tell guys that's not the proper framework. The proper framework is understand where you want to go, see it, and let's go and achieve it
Mm.
together. Let's do it.
I can't agree more. The next question I have for you is, say I reach out to you and I'm like, Joel, I need some help.
Hmm.
Um, I
Listen,
want to and I want to hire you to help change my image
sure.
as in a concise way. Kind of give us a rundown of what that looks like. Where are we going to start and where are we going to end up, and the process you go through of just helping these men.
Well, I don't take anyone on a journey that they don't want to go on. Again, my first step is having them understand that I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not even really a clothes guy. I'm understanding you and let's figure out how we get there, guy. Because my first question to you is, okay, well, tell me about yourself. What are we doing? Why do you want to do this? What is the goal? Clothes we never even talk about clothes. My first step is first understanding you.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it's not me that's wearing the clothes, it's going to be you. So if I understand you, and I can help you understand and articulate your vision and what your goal is, then it becomes a lot easier to make judgments on. It becomes a lot easier to point in the right direction. So I do a pretty long discovery call in understanding the person, because that's where that's it's very important for me to understand the person. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about clothes. It's about the person wearing the clothes.
No, that's probably the number one way of doing it, and I think that's what separates you so much from being just a stylist. Is you're not just looking at the person as, okay, like looking at you, I'm going to want to run a slim cut Italian style fit suit, and we're going to put you in these colors based on your skin tones.
Yeah.
And now let's go shopping and we're going to buy this. You're going to say, hey, like, what do you want to do? Do you even want to wear a suit? Maybe you like the more casual style look. Like, who are you? Where do you want to be? Where you're trying to go? And then we'll build around that. And that makes so much more sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because, some guys don't, most guys don't want to wear suits. Most men wouldn't even serve them. Majority of their life is in a uniform, as you said. You go to work, you wear a uniform, you wear specific clothing. Okay, then I know we don't have to touch that. But maybe your casual wear, maybe that's where we can, there's different parts of your wardrobe that we can improve on. It doesn't have to be just your business. It could be your casual. It could be your networking clothes. This is clothing that you go and meet another group of people and try to network with them. And it's very rare do I just, a person comes up to me and says, hey, I want a suit. I want you to style me. It does happen, and I love doing those jobs. But a big part of it is, okay, you're living your life. How do you want to be seen? And, in a suit at the grocery store just doesn't really fit for most people. Okay, but it just one of these things don't look like the other. Okay, well then let's not put you in a suit. Let's put you in a nice crew neck. Let's put you in a nice fitted soft cashmere wool sweater and see how that works. And guys love that shit. Excuse me, guys love that. And that's really what I do my best. That is what I do really good at. That's why I shine, is helping guys realize you don't have to be wearing ill-fitted clothing. You can wear very nice clothing that improves you every day. It doesn't have to be a suit. It's not my goal to put anyone in a suit. My goal is to get you in proper fitting clothing that communicates you, the best version of yourself.
As we start to wind down here, what is one thing that you want to leave the listeners with? Like one important lesson that you've learned that you want to make sure you leave with the listeners?
The world is going to be hard. The world is going to have challenges. It's going to have moments when you're not going to be able to understand. But I truly believe, and I think we can all agree, that as a man, because my message is to men, it always serves to put your best foot forward. No matter what the scenario is, performing at your best sometimes is all that we can do. And I think every man has the opportunity, can do that. You can easily do that by dressing up for the occasion. Being the light, as that one of my recent clients mentioned. Just be the light. Be positive. Dress accordingly. Your life will give you many, many obstacles. But sometimes just showing up in the right uniform, I figured it out. I know what my message is. Sometimes life is going to be hard. It's going to ask you to perform. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is just show up in the right uniform at the right time. That was something that was given to me in the military. Be in the right uniform, be on time.
That's powerful, because the world needs a lot more of that right now. So thank you. Where can the listeners, the viewers, go to connect with you, to learn more about you?
They can easily find me on Twitter, by Joel Angel. You can also find me on Instagram, by Joel Angel. You can message me there. I'm mostly on my socials. So from there, we typically go off and talk a little bit more about style. We can talk a little bit about you. All that's done through social media at the moment until I get the website going.
Perfect. And once you get that website going, we'll help share that with the listeners as well. But right now, I'll make sure to include everything that you just mentioned down below in the show notes. So, Joel, thank you for joining me today. It's been a great conversation. And If you like this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, just give us a rating and a review so that we can help share this message with the world. But Joel,
Yes.
thank you so much today for your time.
Thank you so much, Chris. I had a blast. Thank you again. I really, really enjoyed this. Thank you very much.